The approach that we follow is an absolute best-in-class approach. That means not the upper 30% or 50% of an industry will be defined as best-in-class or prime, but there are absolute minimum standards in environmental and social performance to achieve this prime status. And so we have a two-step process. We look at a range of companies from important indices like MSCI World and MSCI Emerging Markets or Stock 600, and see what companies are transparent enough to conduct a comprehensive rating. And these companies we select, and then we do our assessment, and in the end we come out with a prime universe in which our customers then will invest, provided that their financial research is well. So we make work sharing with our customers. Our work is the environmental and social research, and our customers do the financial research. So in the oil and gas sector, through this strict process, only 8 companies out of 114 survive this process and will be recommended to our customers. In addition to the positive rating, the best-in-class rating, we conduct an exclusion criteria screening on many different possible exclusion criteria, which are then selected by our customers. In the oil and gas industry assessment, we have defined key issues, as in every industry we assess, and we have the rule that key issues indicators must account for at least 50% of the overall rating. That is done to avoid that you may perform bad in your core business and then get the balance with a good performance in some less relevant criteria. And so the areas that we have identified for oil and gas match pretty well the ones that Manuel had identified in the beginning. So in the environmental sphere, it's climate protection and the gradual shift to low carbon and non-fossil energy sources, the minimization of environmental risks and impacts. On the social side, we have worker safety and accident prevention, and protection of human rights and livelihoods. And we also have a governance key issue that is transparency on payments to governments and anti-corruption. So for each of these issues, we have a range of indicators that we all evaluate separately and weight them to calculate the overall grade. So one could tend to say, why do we assess so many indicators? And if you don't mind, I show you an example of a rating of BP. When you just look at a typical KPI, a key performance indicator, here it's greenhouse gas emissions normalized against the barrels of oil equivalent produced, you see that BP here in comparison with Exxon, Eni, Shell and Statoil shows a quite good performance. And we all know that greenhouse gas emissions intensity is an important KPI to assess the economic risk regarding regulatory changes, if they will come about, e.g. regarding a greenhouse gas trading system. But if you just look at this indicator, you cannot predict the overall exposure to ESG risks. So if you look at the share price development of BP in 2010, this is not to draw an advantage of a terrible accident that happened, but just to show what happened to the share price. After this accident, the share price dropped significantly. And if we look at the rating history at ÖKOM with key issues that can be connected to BP's accident, that would be the blue line is the overall ÖKOM corporate rating, The red line is the environmental performance, so the management of environmental risks and impacts. And the orange line is the health and safety performance. We see that at the time when the share price went down, all the three lines were already well below the prime threshold, which meant that our clients were not invested in BP, and so were not experiencing these losses. At the same time, the exclusion criteria, controversial environmental practices, was always activated. So that here the ESG analysis saved the investors from losses. And this is how it looks like in the end. Rating's not prime. Although we see we have quite some strength below on the slide. So we have recognized and acknowledged that BP has quite some effort made in investment in renewable energies. We see BP is one of the leading companies as regards human rights protection, and has all its tanker fleet double-hulled. But on the other hand, we have repeated failures regarding facility maintenance and workplace safety. And so the result was not prime. And just to show that it's not just one example that was randomly picked from the history, over the history there were some share price crashes, and the message would be that sustainability research can, not always must, but it can minimize investment risks. So all of these companies were rated not prime, long before the stock price crashed. And an increasing number of customers, and not only ecologically or ethically specialized banks or investors, but just also normal asset management agencies rely on sustainability research today. Thank you.